Good afternoon, my name is Sehar Sheikh. I will be walking you guys through my interactive prototype. Healthcare provider is the target user domain I have selected. During the process of building a prototype, it was very important for me to understand the users, understand their goals, what they are trying to achieve. I will start off with Dr. Stanley, who works for a hospital in Chicago, and he has been struggling with keeping track of patients who has to be seen by him on a daily basis. Let's begin, and I'll show you how I'm removing Dr. Stanley's frustration and decreasing his stress. This is the landing page. So the first step Dr. Stanley needs to do is enroll himself as a registered user. This is a necessary step. Once he puts in all this information and becomes a registered user, he will get two methods to log in from. He could scan his finger and log in, or he could enter his email address and password and log in. If he requires extra help, he can always click here to get more assistance. This is a necessary step because of the confidentiality of the material that will be stored in this app. So once he enters the information and logs in, he'll be directed to the patient's visiting page. This shows list of patients that are visiting him on that designated day. He can add a patient to this list by clicking here if it's a new patient, or he could add a patient through existing patient list if this patient is returning for another visit. So let's assume that he wants to add a patient, and he clicks here, he enters all this information, and he can also add the patient's photo to identify him for future purposes, to differentiate between the patients. He can differentiate them through the photo, the first name, last name, and the date of birth. And he can enter in all the medical information here. And if he wants, he can also assign the patient to alerts. This option is designed for Dr. Stanley to assign those patients to alerts who require extra attention, who needs more attention than the others. And once he fills out this, he can hit submit, and it shows that the patient has been successfully added to the database, and he gets directed to the existing patient page. This has the patient information that Dr. Stanley added in the previous step, so he'll be able to see it. If he's looking for a particular patient, he can always search for his name here, and then it'll show Dr. Stanley in the list that he can select from. So let's go to the patient information page. This shows the personal information that Dr. Stanley entered when he registered this patient. The medical information is there. He can always edit it. This shows the diagnosis and the charts and the test results. He can, if he wanted to send this patient information to nurses or other medical professionals who needs to see this report, he can send it through this send report button. And this is pre-populated. The system is assuming that Dr. Stanley wants to send this report to the patient, but if he doesn't, he has the option to retype the email address, email it to himself or whoever requires it, and then he can confirm it, and it'll show that the patient report has been successfully sent. Let's go to alerts. This is the alert page, which shows that this patient that Dr. Stanley has put on alert is going to arrive within 5 minutes. So Dr. Stanley might want to look at the medical data before the patient sees him. And this is the hospital directory from the navigation menu. It shows a list of departments, that Dr. Stanley might want to browse through, or if he wants to ask for more information, he can have the option to see the phone number and call them if he needs to discuss anything about the patient problem. And let's move on to talking about how I can improve the prototype. So what I want to do with this search is that I want to create a drop-down list that will show what the user is typing. So for example, if I'm typing community health, COMM, then it should automatically show me list of departments that are correlated to what I have typed. And let's go to schedule appointment. See right here, the current prototype shows the month view. It shows the patient names, but the most that you can fit is up to 4. So what if there are more than 4 patients? So I was thinking about going deeper and showing it in a weekly view and a day-to-day view where the doctor can add up to 50 patients per day. And looking at the patients and existing patient page right here, I'm using this arrow as an accordion. So this should show more detail about this patient, a picture of the patient and their date of birth and personal information, so the doctor doesn't really have to click on the patient information page. They can see the patient from here. And so right here I also need to work on the edit buttons, where once you tap on edit, the doctor is able to refine and modify information. Well, thank you so much for listening to me, and I had really fun creating this prototype. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.